Hey, you. Welcome to Just Winging It. My name's Rob, and we're about to do something totally crazy. And we're going to try to build 100% off grid homestead completely from scratch. There won't be any scripts, there won't be any blueprints, just us, a few tools, and probably like way too much optimism. Myself, I've always wanted to live a little more self sufficient, to create something where I rely on nature, my own two hands. So naturally, given our life now the way it is, it was just kind of that time. We just felt that this is something that we needed to do. So we went out, we found a piece of land. It's got a ton of potential. It's got a whole lot of challenges, but that's kind of what makes it fun. So we're going to start this channel. We're going to document everything as we go along. This channel is going to be about learning, whether we're building shelters, setting up our solar, growing our food, livestock, chickens. There'll be pigs, a whole bunch of different poultry, a whole bunch of different birds. Um, and we're going to see if we can survive. And we're going to be making a lot of questionable decisions. So follow along if you kind of like the DIY off grid, um, or just like watching somebody learn shit the hard way. This is the right place to be. So hit that subscribe button, follow along, and we're going to turn this raw land into what we hope is a functional off-grid homestead. There's going to be wins, there's going to be fails, and there's going to be a few fires. So kind of let's get started. First thing I want to show you is the property kind of as it is right now. And then from there, I'm going to show you the progress as we go along. So here are a couple of clips of the drive up to the property for the first time, the viewing, the first time we saw it. It's 7.4 kilometers off any main road. There's no neighbors. Nobody else lives down this end of the road. We've traveled from one end all the way in and all the way back out, which is about 15 kilometers, not pass another vehicle, not see anybody on the road. So on first inspection, the very first thing I find is this great big pile of poo. So I'm assuming that that's probably a bear. Up in my area, we do have predator animals. We have hawks and eagles, black bears, coyotes, lots and lots of coyotes. So I'll see if I can get them recorded for you one day. Owls, all the big predator animals, we have them here. So security for the livestock is going to be high priority. I'll show you what the land looks like right now. We kind of lucked out a little bit because this 20-acre piece of land, right now known as Lot 73, it was purchased a very long time ago. The guy farmed it out for the trees, lumberjack. Now that he's got all his trees, the land really doesn't mean a lot to him anymore. So there's a huge backstory, and I'll get into a video about that one of these days, as to why this piece of land was really important to us, how we ended up here. And this is a couple of years in the making, and we just kept hitting roadblock after roadblock after roadblock, and we just weren't getting anywhere. And it was getting so frustrated because I wanted to be out there and I wanted to be doing this so badly. I could feel it. It hurt. Ow. And we caught a couple little breaks along the way. how I got my truck was a break. I'll tell you about that. Um, we how we ended up with the land. That was the big break, and that's the big piece. And this is the piece that if you pay attention and you're watching what's going on, you can do this too. There are ways to do this stuff, and it's really not as difficult as you might think it is. But I'll get into how we're going to get there, how we got the piece of land, how we're going to finance things, how all those little bits and pieces are coming together, and where we caught our brakes and where we hit our roadblocks. But anyway, we ended up with this 20 acres. It's right in the middle of but nowhere. No neighbors. 7.5 kilometers in off the main highway. And it's quiet, quiet. You get out there and you just stop the truck and you shut it down. And
Well, here we are.
Nothing but birds and wind passing through the leaves of the tree. It's so peaceful. I just feel so at ease when I'm there. But anyway, it's 20 acres. It's a space for, like all the wild ideas that I have. I've watched tons and tons and tons of YouTube videos over the last couple of years.
No.
So the wild ideas that are passing through this ADD brain of mine, and all the things that I want to do and all the things that I want to accomplish, it's just, it's going to be fun. It's going to be busy. And the best part is we have no power. There is power close to the road, but we don't have any water hookups because we're too far out. So it's just us, nature, and a whole lot of improvising. Now, one of the things about Nova Scotia is the amount of ticks that we have. In what we found that is if you are close to towns or within a few miles of towns, there's ticks everywhere. You just can't avoid them. But the farther out, the farther into the bush you go, the less ticks you're going to find. I can step off my property line here and into the bush, and I'll have 10 or 12 ticks on me, no question. Out there, I can travel for a couple of hours tracking through the bush, playing with the dogs and chasing chickens and whatever. But there won't be. I might find one in the run of an entire day. And most of the time when we go out there, I can run through the bush and come back and not find a single tick, which is really kind of a bonus. Now, one of the very first things I'm going to do when we get out there is we're going to release some guinea hens. Their main diet and preferred food is tick. So if there is anything in our general area, I'm sure that'll be taken care of. We're going to raise poultry, some chickens. So one of the very first things we're going to get out there are our chickens, because we want them for the eggs and we want them for the pest control. The other great thing about this is it seems that at one point, and when I looked through Google Earth, previous images, past images, you can see that there was a driveway there at one point. There was it looked like a camper there at one point. Now, so that means the driveway's in, which is a major bonus. It's way overgrown now, and it's going to take me a long time to clear it down and mow it all out. A lot of chainsaw work, a lot of weed whacker work. But we've driven on that driveway. I crushed a few trees with my truck, but it's okay. They had to come down anyway. The other thing that we did find that was really interesting is, even though it was just a small camper and it looked like somebody may have been spending a weekend or two out there, there was a well. It's tucked out a little bit off the driveway, but there is a well. And running a tape line down, it was about 26 feet down, And out of that, 18 feet of that was water. Now we're going to have to get that tested. But we have water, which is going to be one of the major things that we're going to need. Now we are going to do rain collection, obviously, but the well water will be able to provide water for the livestock year round. The ground, really rocky. It's not perfect. Um, there's a lot of like marshy areas in it, but the rocks in the marsh that can kind of be two-folded. And I'm thinking once I get a lot of the low brush out of the way and all the deadfall out of the way, and the sun actually gets to beat down onto the ground and make it to the ground, I'm thinking some of that's going to dry up. Walking the property, I did find an old creek bed, so we might be able to figure out where that creek was. Um, and in the low-lying areas where it's really wet, we might be able to get a small excavator in there, maybe dig some of that out, turn that into a bit of a pond, which would be kind of cool. It's not prime farmland, but I don't really want farmland anyway. I want to raise pigs, and I want to raise a lot of birds. So this might just work out exactly what I need it to be. Um, but, let's be real. My mind is probably going to change 6 times or 10 times before I even get started here anyway. So here's a few more pictures of the land. Can't really see a whole lot for, the trees that are in the way. But anyway, that's kind of the brief tour, brief start, brief introduction. I have a million ideas. I have about 5 solid plans. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you've got any advice. Always welcome the comments. And this adventure is about to get started. So we'll see you soon.